Hi, I'm Pete from Eco Fires and Stoves. Um, Today, again, I'd like to talk about the importance of sweeping your chimneys and servicing your stoves. Straight away, I'm going to introduce you to a guy called Danny. He's going to tell you all about his story, what he does, and what we're about to do. So this is Danny Hillier. Danny's my son, by the way, and part of the company. That's all I'm going to say. Dan, take it away.
I'm Danny, and over the past 10 years, I've looked after all the Eco Fires customers with their solid fuel servicing and chimney sweeping. We sort of went our separate ways after I'd sort of trained on the installation side, just to concentrate on the service and maintenance. We noticed that there weren't many engineers sort of looking after the wood burners, and a little bit of a gap in the market. Over then it's sort of grown substantially, and I've become very, very busy, and it sort of made sense to amalgamate the two businesses back together, and we're all going to be running under the same office now.
You've been with us over 10 years now, haven't you, servicing and maintaining? So all happened very, very quickly as far as I'm concerned. I didn't even see that happen. But here we are now. Danny's become an important part of the company. Going to continue servicing our stoves. That's never going to change. But if I can just hit on a couple of questions, you might be able to answer common questions this time of year.
Yeah.
Okay. In short, what is the best time of year to buy your new wood in?
Definitely as soon as possible, before the summer. Don't leave it last minute until the autumn, because a lot of people are snowed under at that point, and the wood starts getting a sort of faster turnaround, so it's maybe not as dry as what it should be. There's been so many wood burners installed over the past 10 years, it's just sort of, as I said, grown substantially. There's not quite enough wood in the country to keep everyone going. So wood is often going out not quite seasoned and containing too much moisture to sort of run efficiently on a stove.
Yeah.
If you get your wood in early part of the summer, if it is a little bit on the damp side, get it in a log store, and by the time sort of September arrives and you want to use it, it's going to be as good, if not better, than kiln dried. So
we love seasoned wood, don't we? And there's some good local companies. One in particular we use a lot and recommend a lot. But even they, as good as the operations they've got, when the atmospherics are wrong and everything else, it's very difficult to get a good supply of seasoned wood. So it's much more helpful, and it just makes sense to get it in that early. Just needs that little bit more to dry out.
It's the same with myself and like the workload that the whole industry gets snowed under in the autumn. So you're sort of helping out the businesses as well by getting it in early. You'll probably get it in quicker. I know some businesses even do certain deals at the quieter times of year to encourage people to buy it in early.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the servicing. People often leave it last minute. They'll get it done in October time. I turn up and the stove needs 3 or 4 parts that you can't get hold of for weeks, sometimes months.
So servicing and your fuel, get it sorted ASAP.
Yeah.
You make it all look lovely, the stove. I know what you do. You're Mr. Perfectionist. You like the stoves to look really nice as well as being serviced and maintained. But it's not just that. It's the fact that it's ready to go that first cold evening.
That's it.
All they got to do is light it.
Yeah, exactly. And a big part of what we do in the servicing is reconditioning the stove and keeping them looking nice. We give them a good polish up, respray parts of the stove that are faded, and it sits as a centrepiece then in your home throughout the whole summer. It always surprises me. I go out in the autumn time and the stove's been sat there with black glass throughout the whole summer in the centre of the living room, and to me it just doesn't make any sense. You pay a lot of money for these stoves, and it's worth keeping on top of them and keeping them looking nice.
So a lot of it, as well as advice you give to the customers, isn't it? I know how long you take on a service on a stove, and I know you're very thorough. But quite a lot of that time is spent with the customer, just answering questions, and stuff like that.
Yeah. We always say one of the most important services is the first one you have after your first burning season. A lot of people haven't had wood burners before, so they're sort of unsure on how they operate. They maybe have got the wrong advice on certain woods that they should be burning. And that first service is just an opportunity for us to run through the customer if they've got any worries or concerns on how the stove's operating. We can check that their fuel is properly dry using moisture meters. and just sort of running through the operation and sort of correct usage of the stove to minimise environmental impact and all these sorts of things.
And you're always more than happy to sit down, drink a customer's tea or
Yeah.
coffee and to chat about this stuff, yeah?
It's the best part of the job. Stove servicing and chimney sweeping would be quite boring without my customers, so it's always nice to have a catch up. A lot of my regulars I've been going out to for 12 years now, and like I say, we have a little catch up and a cup of coffee. I'll check the wood.
So do a lot of your regulars listen to these videos, do you reckon?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, who's your favourite customer?
Oh, couldn't say on camera. I might get something horrible in my next coffee.
Just picking up, you were saying earlier, and I think it's a good time to point this out to customers, that you were saying how busy it's getting, and you've got busier and busier and busier year on year on year. And obviously we've now got to the point where we've been seriously not thinking about, we're actually doing, Danny's going to increase his capacity as far as the sweeping and the servicing goes by getting somebody else out on the road. But this person, I'm going to let you talk about it because I know you're passionate about having the right people on board and everything else. So yeah, you say what's going to happen.
So as the business has been growing year on year, one of my biggest concerns is that eventually I'm going to have to take someone else on to start looking after new clients. I'm well aware of the reason that we get the work in, as much work in as we do, is the level of service that we offer and going that extra mile to sort of sit and speak with the customer about their concerns and polishing the stoves up. A lot of companies are very much in and out, sweep the chimney and leave. So I feel like that's how we sort of gained the work that we have over the years. So I just wanted to make people sort of rest assured that whoever we use will be fully sort of trained by me. Hopefully I get someone out, do some training for sort of 6 months to a year, and we'll ensure that the level of service they're offering is at least as good as what I can.
So we haven't found anybody yet. We've seen some people, but we haven't found quite the right person as yet. Mm-hmm. A little plug there, if anybody's looking at this and really fancies that job, you never know. But yeah, so that's going to be a really important transition, isn't it? Getting through that, and it will take a little bit of time and everything else. And once we got that set up, are you still going to be overseeing everything?
Yeah, so I will. I'll always be first port of call on the end of the phone. If people have got issues or want to speak to me directly, they'll be able to do that. I'm hoping that I can continue to look after my loyal sort of regulars that I've been out to for 10 years or so. And whoever we get in will be sort of looking after the new work that we get in. And it's just a case of putting new engineers through the right training. We're members of Guild and Master Chimney Sweeps, and sort of HETAS registered with the service and maintenance. So it's just
your HETAS registered, not just approved, aren't
no, HETAS registered. Yeah. So we've gone through all the relevant training, and Guild and Master Chimney Sweeps are sort of recognised as offering the best sort of training as far as like industry regulations and that goes. So whoever joins us within the company will be going through the same stringent sort of testing and hopefully they can continue to offer the same service that we always have.
So rest assured, Eco-Fire's service, everything else, it's not going to change, but the face might change, which ain't a bad thing, to be honest, is it really? Yeah, thanks Dan.
Lovely, cheers.
Look forward to the season.